I'm live, apparently. 1,300. That goes in water. I'm standing by here yet. Why is this so dark? Maybe it's not really that dark. Maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it. Hey, Chris, did you get your knives? They should be there soon, if not already. They went out Friday. So, who else is here? I see Chris is here. Jason, what's up, bud? So I took the comment down, but the same guy that was telling me I needed to get a full-time job, stop drinking beer in the middle of the day, and all that crap, commented on the video of me and the kid at Knott's Berry Farms, and was like, see, spending money you don't have. I was like, see, idiot, you don't know. It's free right now for veterans. So, did you guys get to see this? I put this up on Instagram, so it's bronze and blue. And even down in these, those are blue, that's blue. It's dark. This lighting is horrible. Blue, bronze, even down in there is blue. But the big thing that the customer wanted to keep was those little points where it looks fractured are blue. Now, the key is sharpen this without fucking up all the work I already did. So I'm going to try to give Mr. Dwayne Smotherman a call as soon as I get off of this. I'm gonna see if he logs in on this. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, these two tones like this are hard. I redid the bronze and blue 2 or 3 times before I came to the conclusion I could not do exactly what the customer wanted. The customer wanted this to be battle bronze and then the rest of it just be powder blue, and I could not mask. If you look how thin those are cut, I couldn't mask it. The only option if he wanted was satin. That was it. If I had put that in a tumbler, he would have lost all the blue in those little cuts. But like I said, now the key is to not get a bunch of grit down on it. It's S35BN, so it should not be real hard to sharpen. So if you guys do this, like, I don't like taking these knives apart after I sharpen them. So I will do the sharpening after, but on something like this where it's detailed, you gotta be real careful. So fresh water, clean stones, wash my stones off real good. Make sure there's no grit, because the grit will get underneath your fingers and it will ruin your anodizing. So the key is to make sure that the hand that's touching the knife does not get any of the grit on it. And I am gonna have to do what I don't wanna do that. I have to use a coarser stone to get that edge set. Yep, just a little off. It's gonna get sharp though. You want one of these? The only difference is my blade is black. I just did black ceramic. So if you guys notice, I couldn't stand the beard anymore. The mustache was getting bad too. So we were at the amusement park Saturday, and everything I tried to eat, I was catching my mustache and it would get stuck in it and then stuff in my beard. And I was like, you know what? My daughter was like, that looks horrible, Daddy. And I was like, all right, if my kid's saying it looks bad. And the first thing I did when I trimmed it, she's like, oh. I was like, Yeah, but now I don't look homeless. Hey, what's up, Bradley? So, yeah, we went to Knott's Saturday. I didn't do anything yesterday. I had every intention of. Oh, that's right. This has got to. I got to do a tip repair on this. This has got to go on the really coarse. I have a towel set up over here specifically for that knife. Let's see. Any comments? Live chat. Let's look at live chat. So, I have to get with that guy about. I think actually he paid me the extra on that. Actually, he paid me more. He paid me $40 extra. $40 more than I asked for. So, I'll verify. But that one I refinished Friday, or I mean Thursday. I didn't go to the shop Friday. Friday was a day spent doing a bunch of stuff here around the house that had to get done. Things that had to be taken care of, that could not wait. Of course, I should have broken my pickle rule and sharpened this first before I finished it. What was that? Oh my. What's up, Dennis? This one has been dinked and bent at the tip. But since there's a guy anymore, because he already paid me more than it was worth, more than was due, when I charged him for the change in our design for the ano. And it's bent a little. So it's been dropped, it's been dinked, and it's misground. So, anyway, I took down that guy's comment and I told him, I was like, look, if you were to like listen at the intro, you would have heard me say that I didn't pay a penny to get into Knott's. The only thing I paid for, the gas to drive up there, and the food we ate. So, I wanted to do a live feed because they do have Wi-Fi, and I already set it up. It was too, It was too, the Wi-Fi was too slow. It was not going to work. Somebody's delivering something somewhere. I didn't order anything. Yeah, I put up that. No, no, Jason, here's what happened. So a couple weeks ago, I put the Friday here not too long ago that I put up a video where I was doing all my packing, and I was saying, you know, I'm gonna have to take a part-time job, this and that. There was a guy that went on there and just completely was like, you need to stop this, quit complaining, we get a full fucking time job, da 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 da. And I was like, all right, let's take that down. Same guy was like, see, that's what I was talking about. You're drinking beer during the middle of the day and this and that. And I was like, no. I think it was the same guy. Anyway, somebody was complaining about the fact that, you say you don't have any money, you take your kid to an amusement park. Like I said, it's free for veterans. From now until like December 23rd. We go out every Saturday. Every Saturday. because I couldn't afford to go to Disneyland this year. We usually go to Disneyland Thanksgiving weekend. We leave here Wednesday, we go Thanksgiving Day on Thursday, Black Friday, and then Saturday and drive back Sunday morning. It's how we've done it for years. I didn't have that kind of money, and they've got so much stuff. They've got so much stuff closed at Disneyland. It didn't make sense to spend that much money. No, I mean, does he have a valid point? Because a lot of times my videos look like I'm midday. Like right now it's morning. I'm drinking coffee. You wouldn't see me drink a beer. Days that I may have a beer, I know I'm not driving anywhere, and I like to have a beer while I'm working. Because you gotta admit, you guys have never seen me get fucking shit-faced in a video. You may have seen videos of me shit-faced. I wish I had gotten pictures. Nah, I'm not gonna ban him. I mean, he might be a valid customer. Who knows? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen people put up YouTube videos, and I think to myself, that dude needs to get a real job. But then again, this is how a lot of the guys that like, with the exception of Matt at Demolition Ranch, like, he has a full-time job. He's a goddamn veterinarian. There's a lot of YouTubers that start out and then their channels take off. There's a guy that I watch, Random Land Adventures, Justin Scard. His videos are great, and he gave up everything to do something he wanted. Same thing I did, but I mean, took years to get to it. Wound up getting divorced and had to fight for custody of his kids. And he lives up and he does videos about Disneyland. And I love watching his videos because it's not just about the videos. You hear him talk about, you know, he was sick and he was depressed and his wife cheated on him and he left her and then he had to fight to get custody of his kids, and then he found somebody he really cares about and all this shit, moved her out, to all this stuff. And it's kind of cool how you see some of these guys that wind up with these huge YouTube channels started out, you know? I just wanted to start a business. YouTube just happens to be a thing. Because now I spend the majority of my time alone. Kid, wife works, the kid is at school, they go skating, and you know, it's oh dear, let's see here. You know what I forgot to do? Let's scroll through these comments. I know a guy who only drink beer and he's great at his job. Well, I mean, I'm actually out of beer, which is not a thing. So for a lot of people, they seem to think that I drink more now because I've got all this time that I'm at the house. And they're like, oh, I bet you just get through. I actually drink way less now than I did before I started this business and started doing this. And that tip repair is complete. It's time to move up. As soon as I finish getting that little apex area there that I missed. There we go. So because the thing is, I know I got work to do. So if, you know, you have to temper your vices. And the fact is, I don't get drunk as often because I answer emails and text messages and shit 24 hours a day pretty much. So by the time I think about sitting down and having a few drinks, it's ask me what I've been smoking on. What you been smoking on? Favorite strain? Kind of wondered. So I have a little bit of stuff that Matt gave me that's called super glue. I have a tiny bit of some ground up, and I don't smoke very much, so a tiny bit will last me a very long time. I have a little bit of Gorilla Glue, tiny bit. It was pre-ground up. It's in a water, airtight container. And then I have some stuff called 420 Kush. Some 420 Kush, it's an indica, and it's really good. But I like that super glue is fucking great. Gorilla Glue is way fucking strong. Like, no joke. I had like a tiny pinch on my bubbler, and I'm like, well, that can't work. And it's way, Gorilla Glue is way too strong for me to do anything during a day. And I have my pen. It's my sativa pen. I'm not gonna lie to you, I hit the fuck out of my weed yesterday though, because my whole body hurt. 9 miles carrying a backpack full of water in this body is, it's pretty horrendous. So, oh, I had a guy I anodized a knife for, and he goes, oh, this ano is garbage. It washed out. And I was like, dude, Windex. Just wipe it off with Windex. And he emailed me back, and he was like, bro, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I was like, it's not like a coating. The colors are going to wash out. They will wear, but a lot of people think, oh, it wore off. Hit it with a little bit of Windex. It's the best thing for ano, especially something that's polished, because it will change color the second you touch it. I hate doing satins and polish. I mean, they look great, but for this, like I said, for this knife, it was a necessity. And the fact that this got dropped and bent a little bit means the tip is going to, there's nothing I can do. It's gonna be a little bit asymmetrical. I cannot sharpen out a bend. It's gonna look symmetrical, I should say. Glass cleaner. It's the blue spray glass cleaner. Which I'm out of. So, all right, I could do this. I've explained it before, but the difference between the coatings that I use and Cerakote is, I have to look at this tip first, hang on. Cerakote is a spray applied thick coating. You put it on, you let it dry a little bit, you make sure you don't have any fucking bubbles, and then you bake it. Well, the thing with it is since it has to come out of an air gun, even an airbrush, it's still thin, or I'm still thick, really thick. Like, it changes things dimensionally. And it's soft, so it scratches easy. And it doesn't hold up. It glosses when you cut cardboard. It gets these shiny light lines on it. The ceramic coating, which this knife has got the ceramic coating, and you can see it's a nice thin coating. You don't even lose your logos. Your logos show back up after you, if they're cut in. And it's resilient because it is ceramic. So you dip it in, you apply a thin coating electrically into this liquid. You dip it in, you connect a positive and a negative electrode, you dip it in just like you're anodizing. When the voltage is still there, but you have 0 amps, or if I got that backwards? No, yes. Your voltage stays constant, but your amps drop. That means the coating is completely covered. Then you rinse off the excess. You make sure you don't have any bubbles and stuff, and then you bake it, and it leaves you a thin, super hard, super resilient coating. The only thing I've seen that resists scratching as well is DLC. But DLC you can only do like one color of DLC. You can't do like, well, I can do red, I can do green, I can do purple, I can do yellow, I can do black. On titanium, that's amazing because you can't anodize black on titanium. So you try to use Cerakote, and it just looks, Cerakote looks all orange peeled. Here, socks and sandals because I'm in and out of the house. Tip it down this way, and I'll show you that since you were curious from the better view. So you see, you have a nice consistent coating, and I've cut a lot of cardboard, and you're not really seeing too much. You might see a couple little lines in this area right here where I cut down a bunch of cardboard with this. But it doesn't have that orange peel look. What you're seeing is the fact it's on a blasted substrate and it fills in, but you can still see S35VN. You can still see that this is K390, my serial number, the Massdrop logo. And I've used it enough that I've gotten some wear pattern down here. But what was that? So the serial number on my knife is K390. The steel is S35VN. I saw that, I was like, K390? Cool. That's a cool serial number on my knife. So, ooh. Yep, time to move up. So I don't have a 600 grit stone now. My 600 grit stone is just falling apart. It is falling apart. There's the screen for my bubbler. Give me a moment. I gotta take this in before I lose it because I lost the pack of screens I had. I have returned. So, yeah, Dwayne Smotherman got me a 600 grit stone, but we just haven't gotten together to get stuff shipped. And so I am going to have to use this 800 grit right here, Diamond. Doesn't do as well. And then I'll just switch back to my regular stones. So, everybody at work and shit? There's 19 of you guys. Brad's in school. All right, Brad, you take it easy. Get with me. I know you're going to send me some stuff. Get with me and we'll talk about it. Just give me a call. You got my number. So, guys, it officially is happening. I don't know how long it's going to be before they actually sell them, if they sell any, but I am signing my collaboration agreement with WE Knives to make the Hornet. I got it over the weekend. I needed to talk to them and find out how we were going to do it. They sent me the agreement. I'm signing it probably tomorrow. I have to print it out. I have to edit my couple of things on my information, and then I have to get with them about sending the vector file for the maker's mark. So they are going to be different than the ones I hand make, though. The ones I hand make, they have, you know, it's handmade. So I'm not sure exactly how it's all going to work out. But I mean, it's something that is basically something I've been thinking about since I started making them. You know, is there a way to get these out there? Because I can only make so many. I'm so far behind on making them too. I haven't gotten one done in forever. I finished mats, pips, and I don't have time, and I'm giving up the time now with me and my daughter, I am so far behind. I was supposed to have all 12 of them done. I'm not even halfway done with the 12 that I had fucking set. So it's not what I was hoping. So I want to get them done. I don't like having people wait so long. Hello, hello. Let's see here. That's 5,000. This is that 1,000 grit. I need to clean these stones off after this. Like, actually flatten them, clean them, I mean. So this is longer than I had hoped, but like I said, I'm trying to be extremely cautious not to get any grit down on the anodizing. Next time I do one of these complex ones like this, it's getting sharpened before the anode. That way I just can put it back together. The problem is, though, there's been times where I've damaged the blade. Well, Maker's Mark tastes more similar to me than like Canadian Club. That's what it tastes more like. I'm just kidding. It's the mark. It's my hallmark. It's my mark that I put on all the knives. But it's going to be different on the production ones because I can actually do a vector file and get them to add it, and it's going to be my father's initial, or my father's handwriting of my initials. You guys have seen it in videos before. That knife he gave me where he engraved my initials in it. And to have that as the mark on knives that are being produced kind of goes full circle. The first knife I ever got, the thing that, like, I've loved knives ever since I was a kid. My father always had a passion for knives, and because we grew up in the country, and that kind of translated into this. And it just always surprised me, like, so many people are like, you carry a knife everywhere? Yeah, don't you? It makes no sense. It never has made sense to me, these people that are like, and multiple knives, like, it's, you know, have a slip joint in one pocket and another slip joint in another pocket and then a knife on a pocket clip on top. And when I'm wearing my pajamas, I got a pocket knife. So, I got to get stones. Running a business. I have got to buy stones. I have a couple stones that are just cracking and falling apart. The epoxy I found out later. I've been complaining about it. These stones are fairly old. They've spent a lot of time out in it's hot and dry here, and apparently the resin starts to break down. What was that? I don't want to be a full-time maker. No, I don't want to be a full-time maker. It was a hobby. See, Jim Skelton had money. I mean, he worked on TV, he worked for newspaper, he worked for magazines. He's got money. He decided to make knives. He still has things to fall back on. He has a huge following on YouTube. I'm sure that his videos still get a lot of traffic and get him revenue that way. I don't have that. So to me, $400 a knife, $500 a knife, I don't know if you guys know how long it takes to make a knife. I'm paying. I'm basically paying to make those knives for people. But it's a hobby and it's fun, and it kind of pays for itself. The only thing I'm out is my time. So and also, like somebody else said, I can't bogart the equipment. at Fair and Forge that much. That's why knives get made on weekends. Knife making, but a lot of times the knife making, I can't do it on weekends because that's also when I do anodizing, refinishing, modifications, things like that. Business got in the way. So those knives, people are just basically going to have to, I'm going to do I think I'm just going to have to go through and do like a mass email to everybody and be like, hey, look, they'll happen when they happen. I'm not saying they're not going to get done, but they're not happening now. But part of it's my fault too. There's been days where I just got kind of down in the dumps about the fact the way things were going, and I could have went to the shop and done it, but I just didn't have it. And the other thing too is you've got to be, everything's got to be lined up right in your head for you to actually go grind a knife. And it's not the motivation. It's like if you're not in the right mood, you will fuck up a knife. You'll get angry, you'll get grumpy, you'll get impatient, and you can't do that. It requires finesse. When you're doing it as long as like guys like Elliot, maybe not as much, but for me, it's definitely a matter of, am I in the proper mood and mindset to even try this? Like, I can sharpen anytime. No, but you wind up fucking up a knife. Where was I? Oh, yeah. There we go. I think we're done with this. I think this just needs no scratches, just hand oil. This just needs, oh man, that is wicked sharp. So I was talking with a guy a little bit ago about a Spyderco he wants me to, and I asked him, I was like, dude, I'm just gonna tell you right now. He's like, yeah, I'm planning on stropping it and doing this. I asked him what kind of strop he uses. He uses a block strop, sort of like what I use. And I told him, I was like, here's what happened the last time I did a Spyderco. The guy didn't want a sharpening notch in. You see all that damage? The plunge on a Spyderco is really, really abrupt and sharp. And I told him, I was like, you know, if you're gonna put it on stones, put the notch in it. Because it's not so much that you can't, like, I can do it. I've done it. You guys have seen me do knives without a ricasso, without a plunge, and I get them sharp, and I get them all the way back to the plunge. The fact is, it fucks my stones up. And I told him, I was like, I told him that the stones on that really coarse, sharp ricasso, and he goes, yeah, no, let's put a notch in it. I was like, okay. So at this point, I don't know why some companies just don't put at least a notch, because it just gives you some standoff to keep from busting your stone. Like, so, some of my stones that I do have to use, like if I'm going to 12,000 grit, that's a really expensive stone. I haven't had anybody want that for a while. Well, no, I have. Because I can't seem to find a 12,000 grit stone in these that I like. I can't find one. They're just, I had one, so the only thing I've got is that big 12,000 grit bench stone that I use for straight razors. And it's expensive. They're not as expensive now, but I have to buy a new one. Considering I know what we paid for it the first time, I know they're cheaper now, but wow, that is shiny. That'd be a shiny edge. I don't think they're trimming trees. Well, let's do the test. It's gonna be kind of. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dunskies. That, give me a moment, has got to go in its case immediately. So guys, there is not going to be a video about that touch knife. There was a minor issue with the knife itself. It's going back to the maker. I have to send it out. I'm going to try and get it out today, but more than likely it's going to go out tomorrow because I'm planning on going up to the shop. I will do a video about this. This is the Brian Nadeau Micro Typhoon. This is Nico's knife. This is his production version of the Mini Typhoon. It's just smaller. It's tiny. It's so much. I like knives in that size. This is actually smaller than the CTF, if you can believe that. Pivot to pivot, blade length from pivot to pivot, about a ½ inch shorter than the CTF. It's, let's see, is it sub 3? It's exactly 3. It's exactly 3 inches. So my CTF is, my titanium machinist rule out here. The CTF from bolster to tip is 3.5. So actual cutting edge on my CTF is just 1/4 of cutting edge length. So I like this little knife. I like a knife. I like a knife that has multiple choices for opening. Thumb studs leave you with specifically just a thumb stud. A flipper tab's only a flipper tab. But this, right, if I can get my finger in there, has got a thumb plate, thumb disc. You can thumb flip it, you can finger flip it if I can get my fat finger in there. There's not much room in there for me to get a, and a little flipper tab that just disappears into that. And it, so light, so comfortable. I can't say how much I like this knife. I told Bob at the Cali Custom Show, I was like, Bob, I know it's not one of your actuals, but I mean, the design is awesome. The blade shape, it just is a little thick at the tip, and I don't like that. I had a chick say that once. Oopsies. And then there's this. Guys, you haven't seen this yet. This knife was beat up. If you look, you can still see, here, look, get some light reflecting. There's a lot of pitting still. This knife been carried. Guy that owns this knife, Army Airborne, and right now he does KIA MIA recovery for, I can't remember what, but it's the Department of Defense. So he does that. This is a Strider. This was a Dwight actually, and it was beat up. I refinished everything. I'm gonna sharpen this and get it off to him today. But he didn't even ask me to redo the scales. They were just so beat up. I was like, let's send this back to this guy looking brand new. Oh, I was like, you know what? I don't know what steel this is though, so we're gonna play a little game of how does this act on my stones. 400 in water. Those two out of the water. Let me get my stuff. My wife just got up. So, go back and see. It's in pretty bad shape, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be a good up. So I told him I was gonna do the ceramic for him. He paid to say anything about the anodizing. I told him I'd do the ceramic when we talked because I thought it would help protect that steel a little bit so badly, carries it in the rain, carries it nasty. Yeah, that's got to go on the small ones. I was afraid of that. Let's get the small ones in the water. Thought maybe it was shallow enough that I could get away with not. I probably could. Let's go ahead and keep trying. So that's not working. Not gonna work at all, I don't think. Why are you ruining your good stones that are purpose built for this? What was that? Somebody just sent something. I thought it was. Finally managed to get an Archbishop on the secondary market. Bit my ground knife for over a year. Really excited. We'll be sending it first. What's wrong with your Archbishop? What was that? Anybody say anything? What was that? Medfords. I've handled Medfords and I've sharpened a couple of them, Josh. I've talked to Greg a couple times. Greg's a interesting cat, very polarizing kind of guy. His are very bulky. They are massive. And they are well built though. I'm not gonna say they aren't well built. I'm just gonna say that I think they're too much. Chris and I were talking about it, like the weight of a knife. If you hold your phone, your knife probably should not it probably should not be. Fuck, I forgot what I was talking about. It should be around any light plasticky, any heavier, and it just, you feel off balance. So, geez, this is gonna be a while. So, you know what I mean? It's you ever had like, yeah, they have a lot of other models now. Hey, what's up, David? They have some lighter ones. I still think that they're just too heavy, too bulky. And I don't like, I know there's a lot of people out there that love the Medfords. And like I said, Greg's an interesting guy to talk to, but the fact is, I don't like the action on them. I don't like the blade shapes. It's not that they're not good knives. I don't like the way they feel. I don't like the action. They're pretty much thumb stud only. I've gotten used to having multiple, I like a flipper, but I also like a flipper that, like my Archbishop, it's got the finger aperture where you can flip it open if you want. Somebody say something, what did I just miss? Ah. Hey Dave, I'm glad. Are you going to Vegas for I think it's TKI? Sometimes they do have Slog's Day. I saw a guy, there was a guy on, Instagram that was talking about his knife, and it had lock stick. You hear pop when he would disengage the lock. And he was like, that will wear in. I'm like, no, from what I've seen in titanium on steel, as that knife wears in, lock stick is just going to get worse. As it breaks, quote unquote, breaks in. I've never seen a knife that the lock stick gets better over time. It's usually a matter of that the lock stick gets worse and you have to recarbonize. But he was saying, I mean, at least you know it's locked and it's not going to give. And I was like, because they're like fanboys and they got a man crush on the maker or whatever, and then they try to judge it wrong with the knife. And that's, why not just call maker? Hey, this thing sticks. The video about the touch was with it, but I'm sending it back to the maker. I thought I sent it out Friday and I didn't. I apologize, Eric, if you happen to be watching. For all other intents and purposes, the knife was great. There was just one issue with it. It was a deal stopper for me, and I could review without at least trying to find out if the owner wanted me to do it, and then get a hold of the maker. I mean, and see if the maker could situate, especially a $1,600 knife. But I saw the interaction between Eric and him at Touch Knives, and it was seemed great. He's like, yeah, no problem, just send it and we'll take care of it. So I'll be sending that in back to Eric, and there's just not going to be a video about it because I've already had his knife since Portland. So this knife is going to be those ones that just does not feel like it wants to get sharp. It's a relatively thick blade on the short, narrow, I mean, it's fairly thick blade stock on a fairly narrow blade grind or blade shape with a pretty, it's not a full flat, and it is kind of gonna be blunt. That's just all there is to it. But it will be sharp, it will cut, and it will be way sharper than it was when he sent it to me, so. I mean, it couldn't have gotten much duller. So, 48 minutes, I'm almost done with this one. All right, guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get off of here. I will shoot the video about that. I want to get as much as I need to stop this anyway. I need to get as much as my admin stuff done today as possible because Saturday we are going back to Knott's Berry Farms. We're gonna go every Saturday that it's available, so I have to scramble to get everything done throughout the week so that we can go. So I'm gonna try and grind the next of the Hornets. I gotta do some payroll stuff. I have to pay a bunch of bills today. Mainly the one for this house and the water. It's time to pay my mortgage, my HOA, and my water bill. So that's all hopefully gonna get done today, if I can remember. Done. So you guys all have a good day. I'm gonna finish this, get this off to customer, and I got 2 of Matt's knives that I need to do as well. So I will, I'm gonna sharpen this for Nico and do a video about this, the Micro Typhoon, hopefully today. So you guys take it easy. See you next time. Don't bother trying to call me after this, anybody. If anybody's trying to, I got a bunch of stuff I gotta do. I'm just gonna end this so I can focus on it. If you need something, shoot me a text. All right. Well, it's a live feed, so mail and text. And anybody anybody that's watching this after it's live, shoot me an email or text anyway. Contact info should be below. Bye, guys. Later.